I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed in for the next 18 months. So before I really quit, so why did I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was young, unwed college student. She decided to put me in for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates. So everything was all set up for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except when I popped out, they decided at last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on the waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We have an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said. Of course, my biological mother later found out that my mother had never graduated college and my father had never even graduated high school. So she refused to sign the final adoption papers. She only relented for a few months later when parents promised that I would someday go to college. And 17 years later, I did go to college. But I nearly chose a college as much as pricey as Stanford. And all the working class parents saving were being spent on my college tuition. After 6 months, I couldn't see the value in it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. And here I was spending all the money my parents had saved throughout their whole lives. So I decided to drop out, trust it would be all work out okay. It was pretty scary at the time, but looking back at it, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It was all romantic. I didn't have a dorm room. I slept on I slept on the floor in friends' rooms. I returned Coke bottles for the 5 cents deposit just for food. And I would walk 7 miles across town every Sunday to get a good meal a week. I loved it. I much have stumbled into the following curiosity and intuition. Turned out to be priceless later on. Let me give you an example. Reed College at the time offered perhaps the best calligraphy class instructions in the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label, on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have a normal class, I decided to take it. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying amounts of space between letters and combinations, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtitled in a way that science can capture and found it fascinating. None of this was a bad hope, any practical applications in my life. But 10 years later, when I was designing the first Macintosh, it was the first computer with a beautiful typography. If I had never dropped out in a single course of college, Macintosh would never happen. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots. Looking forward, I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have trust in something. Your gut, your destiny, your life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and this has made a difference in my life. Thank you.